Hi, it's Kayleigh. I hope everyone's really well. I've seen quite a few people doing the mid-year freak-out book tag, and I've quite enjoyed watching those from other YouTubers, so I thought I would film my own freak-out book to reflect on the books that I've read and talk about some of the books that I'm looking forward to getting to in the next half of the year. I've got my Goodreads and the questions in front of me on my laptop below the camera, so that's why I'm looking down. So far this year I've read 28 books. 8 of those are by Robin Hobb, so there might be a bit of a theme. First question is best book you've read so far in 2022. So this is a Robin Hobb. I would say my favourite would be The Golden Fool. I think that in The Golden Fool the world's really established. The characters have kind of grown into themselves. We know a lot about the politics and the setting and the environment and the magical systems. I think the characters have really developed, and I like the way that they've progressed. Some of the new characters who weren't in some of the previous books, who are in the Tawny Man trilogy, I think they're just some of my favourite characters as well. So overall, Golden Fool is my favourite, but I've been really enjoying the whole sort of Elderling series. If that wasn't apparent. Next question, the best sequel you've read so far in 2022. And for me, the only sequels that I've read are the Elderling series sequels. After Golden Fool, my next favourite would be The Mad Ship. So I think that's probably pop that one in here. Yeah, I really enjoyed the way that the characters developed. Just really enjoyed the way that the characters developed, and it felt like a really intricate kind of web of different characters doing different things, and it left me really wondering how everything was going to get pulled in the final book. Third question, new release you haven't yet read but want to. So for me, this is a crime book. It's Silent Parade by Keigo Higashino, and this is the 4th Detective Galileo series. I've read the prior 3 and really enjoyed them all. I think I really enjoyed that the crimes are quite dark and there's a sort of heavy psychological aspect to them. I like that there's not too much emphasis on the detectives' personal lives, because I prefer that sort of traditional mystery. The books that I've previously read by Keigo Higashino have really had like dark, complex, twisting plots, and yeah, I've really enjoyed that. So I'm looking forward to getting to Silent Parade. Next question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. So for me, there's 3 books that come under this. One is Babel or Babel by R.F Kuang. This has been everywhere on BookTube and I think it's been really hyped up. It's a dark academic fantasy. Definitely looking forward to that one coming out. Another fantasy is The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu. I haven't really heard about this one very much. One of the booktubers I follow did do a review and spoke very highly of it. The first line in the description says, an epic fantasy ode to martial arts and magic. I love martial arts training in fantasy books. I particularly like it when it crosses over with magic and you see the protagonist learning new skills and building them. And, you know, I also really like that kind of competition scenario where there are multiple people training and trying to get stronger. And the last book that I'm really excited and have pre-ordered is Marple, 12 New Stories. So this is a collection of 12 short stories, all featuring Agatha Christie's character, the infamous Miss Marple. The writers, it's multiple writers here who I've enjoyed and read before. Ruth Ware, Kate Mosse, Val McDermid, Ellie Griffiths, Lee Bardugo. So there's multiple authors who I'm keen to read and interested to see how they write Miss Marple. And yeah, the next question is biggest disappointment. So I don't really like speaking badly about books, because I think a lot of what you get from a book is not just the story or the book itself, but what the reader brings to the book and the interaction and the experience of reading. So both of the books that I'm going to mention I actually enjoyed, but they were disappointments in that I had really high expectations going into them. So the first one of these is Billy Summers by Stephen King. I bought this book really recently and read it within about a day of getting it, and I think because I just love a lot of Stephen King's older work, things like The Shining and Cujo and It, and my favourite Stephen King would be Misery. I just didn't feel like Billy Summers, although it was a good read and I enjoyed reading it, it just didn't have that dark, haunting, terrifying aspect that a lot of his earlier work, that, you know, my favourites of his work have. That was a disappointment, but it's not a book that I disliked. So when I pick up a Stephen King, I kind of want to be terrified, but it just didn't scare me enough. So I was really excited to read The Secret Lives of Church Ladies by Deesha Philyaw, and I'd heard really great reviews about this everywhere, and I was really excited to get to it. And when I did, I didn't dislike it. I did like the collection of short stories, but I just didn't feel any of them really resonated with me. I liked them, but none of them stuck with me. None of them made me really think about anything. I gave it a 3 star. I didn't dislike them, and I thought the writing was good, but I didn't find any of the stories really connected. It didn't. I didn't dislike it, but I think it had been built up a lot, and I was expecting to really love it. It just left me a bit underwhelmed. The biggest surprise for me is kind of the opposite. My biggest surprise was Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I really liked Daisy Jones and the Six and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I got the audiobook version of Malibu Rising because I was on a long car journey and I just wanted something light. I didn't think I would enjoy it because of the scene of surfing and it all being set over the events of one day, and this kind of glamorous family who lived in California. I just wasn't that interested in that. I thought Daisy Jones and the Six had that kind of rocky music, underworld undertone, and I was more interested in that. But for me, Malibu surfing, I just didn't think that was something I would be interested in. But actually, I really enjoyed the book. Listened to it the whole journey. I think it was a 9-hour journey, and I finished the audiobook and I was like, that was amazing. The time completely flew. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I like Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing, but I just didn't think I would enjoy that book of hers as much as I did, and I was really surprised by that. Next question, favourite new author. So Robin Hobb. I thought I would enjoy Robin Hobb. I've heard everyone speak about Robin Hobb, and I've definitely thought I need to read Robin Hobb. So I'm glad that this year I got round to it, and yes, she is definitely up there with the favourites. Newest fictional crush. Newest favourite character, okay, would be Night Eye from the Elderling series. I think anyone who's read them will know why. Just the best character, just the best character. Okay, next question. Book that made you cry. Fool's Errand by Robin Hobb. And I think that's the first book that's made me cry in a while. Yeah. Book that made you happy. I haven't really read anything that I would say made me really happy. Nothing that I read was particularly heartwarming or uplifting. No, sorry. The most beautiful book you've bought or received so far this year. Venus in the Blind Spot by Junji Ito. The book is just beautiful. The illustrations, it's horror. Some of it is quite gruesome. Really, really good. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? So I need to read the rest of the Elderling series by Robin Hobb. I have the books, they're waiting to be read, and I'm really excited to get to them. I also really want to read the Belgariad series by David Eddings. I've read some of his books, and he's one of my favourite fantasy authors of all time. Gardens of the Moon by Stephen Erikson. This one's been on my radar a while. Yeah, so I definitely want to get to that. So I guess that's my mid-year freak out wrap up. Be interested to know if any of these books you've read and you agree with me or disagree with me, or books that based on what I've spoken about, you think that I would enjoy. Lots of 3 stars for me this year so far, other than the Robin Hobbs. I hope everyone takes care. Interested to see what you think, and yeah, see you later.